For someone that did not know how to drive before coming to the UK, I am so proud of myself that I passed my driving test. So in this video, I am going to be sharing all the tips, the tricks, the hacks, all the things that helped me pass my driving test. And even during my lessons, like every single thing that I did to actually get to this point. If you're trying to pass your driving test, or you haven't even booked any, maybe you're just starting lessons, or you have not even started lessons, this video is a must watch. You need to watch this video till the end. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Elfrida, and on this channel we talk about life in the UK, career, personal growth, family and lifestyle. So if this is the kind of things that you like, please stick around, subscribe, click on the notification bell so that you would always get notified whenever I post. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much, you guys, for being patient with me, for always coming when I post a video. It's not been easy, like right now, being a mom, a new mom, and just doing every single thing that I'm doing and trying to also be consistent here. But I really appreciate the fact that you guys still show up for me. You still come on here to like, to comment, to share. I am really grateful. I'm grateful to have you guys in my community, and we've been doing this for so long, and this is December in 2025. I am so grateful to have you guys in my corner. Thank you so much, guys. I passed my driving test last year. So last year to November 2024, I passed my driving test, and this is already a year now since I passed my driving test. And you know what, I was like, why haven't I even shared this, and why have I not even shared the tips that I used? I'm usually a person that would when I get something, I like to share the tips that I used. I like to share my productivity hacks and all the bits and pieces of things that I do or did before actually attaining something, to help and guide people and inspire them on their journey. And if you know me, this is what I am actually about, inspiring people, motivating people to achieve success in every area of their lives. And since becoming a solicitor, and also even getting the Commonwealth Share Scholarship in 2021. Like I said in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys all the tips, tricks, every single thing that I did to pass my driving tests. So the first thing I'm going to say is I am a first-time driver, which means that I haven't driven before. I never drove in Nigeria. The only experience of driving that I have in Nigeria, I won't say experience of driving, but experience of learning to drive, was when I went back to Nigeria in 2022. I did some lessons. So I did lessons for 3 Sundays. I think I would even say 2.5 Sundays, because we didn't really do so much. And basically the lessons were just like an hour lesson, were just introduction to driving. And I did it, it was an informal one, so I did it with a friend, a family friend, was just showing me some things. So basically, I don't know if I'll call it real driving lessons, but when you talk about driving lessons, I just had 2 Sundays that I did, or 3 Sundays, let's say 3 Sundays. And after that, I came back to the UK. It is my only experience of driving, apart from being a passenger in buses, in taxis. I have never driven. I've never driven before. I don't have that driving experience. So coming to the UK, it was fresh. Everything was fresh. Everything I learned as a new driver. But do you know that I've noticed that it's even the experienced drivers, the people coming from their country, that are actually even failing more here in the UK. I've seen a lot of people, like so many people are failing, and a lot of times I've seen that those people that fail are actually experienced drivers, and I'm not blaming them, but because of course that there are a lot of things to learn, relearn, new things to unpack there when it comes to driving in a new country. What I did was to get a driving instructor first. My husband actually looked for the driving instructor and got one, and I said, you know what, I think I should start my driving classes, just as you're doing yours, because he had a goal, he's experienced already, so he wanted to accelerate everything, like he wanted to speeding up everything. So he had the plan of writing his tests and everything like within that year. So I said, you know what, let me also have some time to practice with the driving instructor as you're doing yours. I'm not going to have like set a goal yet for when I want to write a test, or when I want to, like do both the theory and practical. I wasn't going to set any goal as at that time. So I just started practicing with the instructor, and they were not too long, just sometimes 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week. And because of how busy the instructor was, of course, he would ask you your time slot, time availability, and he will be the one to still give you based on he's trying to put other students, to make sure that other students get time slots. So yeah, I kept on doing practice with him. The thing was new. Every single thing was new to me. But you know what I did that actually helped me was I started practicing and reading my theory. So I started reading the theory tests. If you know of the 4-in-1 theory tests app, that was the one I used. I started reading. Maybe I'll just do a separate video on, the tips for the theory test, how I got 50/50. I actually got 50/50 in my theory test. I left no crumbs untouched, whatever. So that's the first tip. Get your instructor on time. Do not compromise on practice, even if it means doing it for just 1 hour a week. Do it. And for me, I like visuals, so I like seeing things. So what my instructor did, I was really happy about, was he would bring their booklets where they have different things, especially when we went to roundabouts, seeing those things, not just seeing it on the road when we're now doing the action, but seeing it on paper actually helped me. So my driving instructor was really, really, really bent on me getting the little details. So when I thought I actually drove I'll be like, I really drove very well today. It will be, it will find the little fault, very little fault. It will find it and say, you cannot do that in your driving test. So don't get a driving instructor that will pamper you. Don't. If you feel and notice that your driving instructor is pampering you, you're making mistakes, you're making errors, is not correcting you, please just move. Go to a different driving instructor. Get somebody that is invested in you learning it. Don't just think that your driving instructor must be happy with you. Okay? There were so many times where I felt like this guy is after my life. I felt like this guy, he does not even believe in me. He does not believe in. And you know what? I'm looking back, I'm really grateful that I did not stop, with him. I did not cancel the sessions, that I kept on going. Put it together, I would say that preparing for your theory test and doing the practical lessons with your instructor makes a whole lot of difference. When you're practicing with your instructor, you will get to read road signs. You will get to know things. In fact, sometimes my driving instructor was asking me theory questions. Okay, that made everything that I was reading to stick. Okay, and at the same time, it made the driving very easy for me. It made understanding signs very easy for me. It made me understand road conditions. There were so many things. Like right now, when I am driving, I'm not confused about signs. I know signs, like I know them very well. I can tell you that. Okay, so getting a good driving instructor is the first point. Practicing, and if you've not written your theory, try practicing and reading theory at the same time. It will really do a lot of difference. The next one is watching YouTube videos. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and they helped me. I'm going to be putting them on the screen. View, this lady, I think she's in London. She does a lot of manual cars. You find a bit of automatic on her page, but I didn't care about what car it was, if it was automatic or manual. Of course, I was learning the automatic car, but I didn't care. What I wanted to see was her corrections, how she was correcting people, how they were taking it. In fact, I learned how to be attentive on the road through that lady's YouTube videos. Okay, it made me very calm on the road. In fact, sometimes I hear a voice in my head and she'll be like, oh, okay, that's a roundabout. Slow down as you get in there. Look at your right. If there's no car coming, go. So just watching the YouTube videos, okay, actually helped me with even parking, the parallel parking, the reverse parking, even the normal bay parking, like what do they call it, forward parking, even the normal forward parking, right? It really helped me. It boosts my confidence to keep on learning. And then sometimes when I fell down as a result of practicing, and maybe I just had a rough class with my instructor, maybe I didn't do well, I had a lot of errors, I would go back to the YouTube videos, especially these ladies videos, and just watch. And there's these other ladies on TikTok. I follow her and sometimes her live sessions, and they were really helpful because I saw that I could answer some of the questions, or almost all the questions that she was asking on her live session. So it really helped me gain confidence. The next point is to make sure that you know your test routes. So wherever you are, in whatever city you are, you should write your driving test where you are, like in the city where you are practicing. So where you are practicing with your driving instructor, because one thing my driving instructor did, and usually driving instructors do this, is they will take you around the test routes. They will take you around the different test routes, the different corners, nooks and crannies that the tests, invigilators or whatever they are called, will take you through. So they will take you through these different corners. So it's not all about you cramming it. No, you can't memorize test routes because it will change. Of course, you might let's say you might go straight on the roundabout today with your driving instructor, and maybe during your test they might tell you to take the first left or go right. Okay, the main thing is learning the road. Okay, because sometimes some roundabouts, the driving instructor will tell you this roundabout is very small, so when you are on the left, hold your left, maintain that left, have a tight, how do they put it now, make sure that that left, you're holding straight on that left, okay, to go around, so that you don't hit a car by the right. And another roads, they might say, okay, on this road, there is a sharp bend, so be very mindful. Of course, you will see signs, but they will point it to you that, okay, on this road, that bend is very sharp. So you will need to go slow, be very careful. So you will see and hear your instructors say things like this when you go through the test route. So that is why I would say make sure you go through the test route before writing your test. It makes a whole lot of difference. You need to also know your test center before writing your test. In fact, what my driving instructor did, what why I'm pausing is for you to understand, how detailed it was. So what so what he did was he made sure that I knew the test center from the back. And like they had from the back, the entrance from the back, and then there was the entrance right from the front. So right from the back, you see there's a very sharp bend, and there's a junction that is hidden, so it will tell you how to go slow when you get to that place. And from the front, it will tell you, oh, this place cars are always park on the road, so make sure to go slow and check, because learner drivers are always around those like around, they might be around the cars, they might be hidden just behind a big truck. So these kind of things would help you gain that consciousness of, right, consciousness of, okay, this is what I need to do when I get to this test center, or this is what I need to do when I get to this area. So if you don't have a driving instructor that is doing this kind of thing for you, please just leave and get somebody else, okay? Another thing about knowing your test route is there are videos online, and this might surprise you. There are actually videos online on your test routes. So wherever you are, because I wrote my test in Sunderland, so wherever you are, just go and search test routes and then put your city. And you'll see that people have done videos showing the different test routes. That would in itself help you to also know the different test routes, because your driving instructor might not be able to exhaust all the test routes, all the nook and crannies. Like, those videos will actually help you see some areas that you haven't seen. So that one alone is a game changer. And most important thing is on that test day. That test day, you will actually need to be calm. My first test, almost at the end of the test, I flopped. That was when I flopped. I flopped in a way that the driving, the invigilator had to take control of my steering. So you know that once they intervene, you've failed your test. I looked for a date and booked again, and I went in. I did serious practice again with my driving instructor, and he told me, you are there. You just need to calm down, Elfrida. You just need to calm down. And I went for my driving test the second time, and I passed. Like, I smashed it. When I knew that I'd passed this test, I knew it, like, I'd passed this test, because my main weakness was just not being calm. That was just my weakness. So I knew that if I just worked on it, I would do well. So I did it. Like, I smashed it. Not being calm is what is making you fail your driving test. So you need to calm down. You might actually know all the tips. You might actually know everything I'm talking about. But if you don't go to that driving test calm, you might actually fail. Have a good night's sleep, good night baths, rest your brain, rest your head. You've learned a lot. You've done all the things that I told you to do. Calm down, rest, rest your head very well. Go early to your tests, get every single thing that you need to get, your license, your professional license. Your driving instructor, of course, will always come early. You try and just prepare yourself, go early, don't go late, so that you don't start getting scared and all worked up. And calm down. It's a driving test, is to test what you've been doing with your instructor, like for the past year or months. So just calm down. Lastly, before I leave or before I end this video, I would say that when planning to write your test, do not rush it. Okay, do not rush your test. Take your time. And if your driving instructor say, oh, I don't think you're prepared, try and believe him or her. Try and just accept that you're not prepared yet, and take more time to learn, and take more time to do some practice. Okay, practice as much as possible. Another thing I would say to do is, when you see somebody driving, because at that time my husband had already passed his test. He passed once. Okay, so since he had already passed his test, anytime I see him driving, I look at him, I engage. We started discussing about driving. Anytime he's driving, I'm telling him, oh, this is what this instructor used to do. Oh, this is what he used to, So I said engaging. I said driving became my language. Okay, I made sure I was getting into it. I hope you do yours and get it sorted in time, because I mean, sorting out my driving test before I took my role was really good. It was really helpful because I can drive to work now. There are times when I was pregnant, I drove to anywhere I wanted to drive to. And another thing is, now that I've given birth, I can drive, take my child, take my son to anywhere I want to take him to. So driving, you should look at, okay, what are the advantages? What is there on the other side when I pass this test? And what can I do now that I'm here? I can be calm, learn, and go for it. Take all the tips I've given to you, and yeah, I'm going to hear good news from you guys. Okay, yeah, so if you have any more questions, any specific questions, please let me know in the comments and I'm going to answer them for you. Okay, bye.